We're coming off another really busy weekend for news with headlines coming from the president to some new data on COVID-19 in children and an editorial that's sparking a lot of conversation around the country about what's next. Hope you're after a great week so far. Every weekend I say I'm going to get more rest. I don't know about you guys. It never happens. If you have any tips for that, let me know. All right, let's talk a little bit about what the president did this weekend. A little bit of the backdrop to all of this. We have Republicans and Democrats trying to negotiate some sort of economic stimulus bill. They haven't done so successfully this round. We get the jobs report on Friday that's showing, again, historic job numbers, more than 10% unemployment in America. On Saturday, the president steps forward and says, lawmakers can't figure this out, so I'm going to put forward some executive action that's going to help stimulate the economy. We bullet pointed that executive action on our website so you can see it. But one of the big things that we've been talking a lot about is that extra boost of unemployment benefits coming from the federal government on top of state benefits that lawmakers have been negotiating, and has apparently been a little bit of a holdup in the negotiations. The president said that instead of the $600 previously that would be added on top of state unemployment benefits, his executive action would include about $400 on top of benefits. Now, let's just pause there for a moment. Overall, looking at the president's actions, Democrats are critical. They're saying that he's not going far enough, and they're also saying that he's overstepping his presidential authority. Now, why are they saying that? Most of the time, in most cases, anything having to do with your money has to originate in Congress. It goes back to that no taxation without representation. So we represent our lawmakers to Congress. They represent how to use our money. And so in general, that's why these stimulus bills have to come from Congress, because we're using taxpayer money in a different way. There are cases that the president can use executive action and can wield federal funds, but this is why there's a debate about this. Now, will the executive actions go forward? Will they be challenged legally? We'll see. Will this actually lead to more negotiations between lawmakers that could be successful? All big question marks, but that's a little bit about what you should know from this weekend on economic stimulus. Second thing you should know about COVID-19 comes from the American Academy of Pediatrics. They came out with a new report. And here, just big picture again, we talk a lot about children and COVID-19 in schools like it's only an issue for children. It's not really just about the children. It's about community spread and community transmission overall. That's why we're paying close attention to this. The American Academy of Pediatrics said, in the last 2 weeks of July, we saw nearly 100,000 cases for children in COVID-19. And that was a drastic increase from previous weeks and months. Something to note, some children had to be tested to go to camps or go back to school. And here's something else. States look at what's a child in different ways. In some states, it's those up to 14 years old. In some states, it's up to 24 years old. So the data is sort of all over the place, but this is something that you should know because it's indicating an increase in infection rates in children. The reason why I'm looking at that is not just for the numbers. The CDC put out a report on this very rare condition that some children get from exposure to COVID-19. It's that multi-inflammatory syndrome that we've been watching. That usually appears 2 to 4 weeks after infection or after exposure. So that's something else that I'm paying close attention to. But you should know that the data is out there, but the data is a little bit flawed as how states are looking at different calculations. Last thing you should know about is an editorial that was published in the New York Times by the head of the Federal Reserve Bank in Minnesota and a leading infectious research doctor there in Minnesota as well. This is what they're saying. Because of what we're seeing in infection rates, because of what we're seeing in the economy, they're advocating that the United States shuts down. 6 weeks. Quickly, strict, very, very strict, in order to help the health of American citizens and help the economy. It would not be done without support. So if you were forced to stay home, there would have to be government support for you in the 6 weeks. But what they're saying is if we don't do this now, we're going to be in such a choppy existence for the foreseeable future. That's not going to be good for anybody, for anybody's health and for the economy overall. So let's do it. Let's do it now. I think you should know about this because it's getting a lot of attention. We don't know if it's going to happen, and it's very difficult to see something like that happening before an election. But you should know it's a conversation, and I'm so curious what you think about that. So let me know. Comment in social media or direct message us as well, or email us hello@smarternews.com. Always grateful for your support. I'll have all this stuff on the website so you can check it out throughout the day. Have a great Monday, guys. We'll see you soon at smarternews.com.